Begin with the natural flow of your breath, the rise and fall of your chest, as you settle in deeper and deeper into the present moment, becoming more and more relaxed, noticing how easy it is to relax, to allow your mind to quiet down. And as you allow yourself to settle into this space, notice how, with every breath, you start to feel more comfortable, more at ease, like you've entered a space where everything just makes sense. In this moment, think about the way your beliefs create your reality. Notice how each belief you hold creates a picture, a world you live in. You see, your beliefs, they aren't something that just exists in your mind. They're reflected all around you, in the world, in your interactions, in your moments, in your thoughts, because everything you believe becomes your experience. Now take a moment to consider the idea that when you move towards pleasure and away from pain, you're already creating a shift. And to explore these shifts, you see what contrast teaches you. It's almost like learning how to dance. Sometimes you step forward, sometimes you step back, but you find balance in the middle effortlessly, just like your thoughts, just like your feelings, just like your connections. And to explore this idea of balance, you realize there's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback, right? When something doesn't go the way you thought, that's just an opportunity to adjust, to grow, to learn, and to keep moving forward, always forward, stronger, better, and more open to what's next. Now, isn't it fascinating? Because you've already begun to understand. The more you relax and allow, the easier things get. Just like that. It doesn't take much effort, does it? It's easy, natural, flowing. So imagine right now, stepping into a social situation. Maybe you're talking to someone or surrounded by a group, and you know how to create deep rapport, how to open connections effortlessly. It doesn't matter what they say, because you're already in control. You control the frame, the energy, and you do it by simply being you. You know you've the power to interrupt patterns, yours and others, and it's all effortless. When you do this, you become mysterious, interesting and charismatic. And just as you change your posture, to change your state of mind, imagine changing your body language in the middle of a conversation. As you move, you shift into a position of power. Maybe a subtle shift of your shoulders, a slight tilt of your head, and notice how they respond. You just interrupted their pattern, and they didn't even realize it. Their eyes widen, they lean in, they're hooked. You've become more interesting without even saying a word. Now think about how easy it is to ask the right questions. Questions that interrupt the usual flow. Questions that create curiosity, to leave them wondering. How did you come up with that? When you ask unexpected questions, you take control. The world shifts. They start to respond to you, to your energy, to your frame. You could ask, what's the most exciting thing that happened to you this week? Or even, what's the one thing you've always wanted to do but never tried? Suddenly the conversation, it's no longer about small talk, it's about something real. And in that moment, you've interrupted their routine, their pattern, and you've connected on a deeper level. And when you introduce something unexpected, let's say a change in subject, maybe a funny observation or sudden metaphor, notice how the energy shifts. You might even say something like, it's funny. This reminds me how the ocean always finds its way back to the shore. It doesn't force itself, it just flows. And watch how they pause, think, and the connection becomes stronger. The beauty of this moment is, you've just introduced a verbal interruption that makes the situation interesting. A break in the expected flow of conversation. Now you become someone who's unpredictable. Someone who can control the energy of the conversation without even trying. You've allowed space for curiosity to fill the air. But that's not all. Because you also know your body language, your posture, your gesture, it can interrupt someone's emotional state too. Imagine you're talking to someone who seems a bit tense. What if you suddenly stand tall, square your shoulders, smile into your head, inviting them to do the same? The very movement of your body commands a shift, doesn't it? And now the tension is gone, and they're leaning in, wanting to know more. The more you allow yourself to shift into these moments, the more fascinating you become. Just think about how sensory disruptions can break their focus. A clap of your hands, a sudden change in your tone or rhythm of your voice. It's like tapping into a new channel in their mind. Imagine this, you're having a conversation, and they're starting to talk about something you're not particularly interested in. You might smile with a sudden twist of your tongue, gently shift the conversation by saying, "Hey, have you ever noticed how the colour of a sunset changes in the blink of an eye?" Now they're thinking, "Wait, what?" And they're curious again. You've disrupted the pattern with an unexpected sensory input, drawing them back to you. And let's not forget the power of humour. The kind of humour that makes people relax and laugh. Not just any laugh. The kind that's spontaneous and full of energy. It's about sharing something unexpected, like an absurdity or a little self-deprecating humour. When you do this, you break the monotony. You shift their state. You create a moment of surprise. And suddenly, you're not just another person in the room. You're the one they're drawn to. The one they're interested in. At times you might find it's not about what you say at all, but how you say it. When you interrupt their expectations with a twist of words, you create new meanings. A simple phrase like, "It's fascinating how sometimes the less we try, the more we succeed," can be powerful. And what happens next? You've just shifted their perspective and invited them into a new way of thinking. You've reframed the conversation. Now consider this. When you use cognitive disruption, you bring something unexpected into the mix. A paradox. Maybe, or a question that makes them think deeply. Ask them, what's the most powerful thing that you could do right now to make everything in your life easier? That pause, that moment of contemplation, you've just created a new opportunity for them to step into. You've disrupted their patterns of thought, opening up a space for something more. And in all these ways, you've begun to understand the secret. The more you interrupt the pattern of those around you, and your own, the more fascinating you become. It's as if you're no longer following the script. You're writing your own. As you relax into this, knowing you can interrupt at any moment, becoming the one who controls the flow, you'll notice how everything starts to shift. Conversations become more engaging. Connections become stronger. And your presence grows stronger and more magnetic. Because the more you play with these interruptions, the more power you have. The more attractive and charismatic you become. And the more fascinating your presence is, isn't it?